All right, we are working on determining angle measures in rectangles with diagonals. So lots of vocabulary here. We're just basically going to apply things that we hopefully are already comfortable with. So when I look at something like this, I remember that if we extend this line, that's a transversal, right? And then these would be the parallel lines here. So if we go way back, we should remember that this is alternate interior angles, right? So if this is 50, then this is 50, alternate interior angles. So I'm going to just put this as 50 degrees right here. And then there's things that we need to know about a rectangle, right? It tells us very clearly that we are in rectangles. So what we need to know about a rectangle is that this is going to add up to be a 90-degree angle, right? So if we know that this part is 50, that means that angle 1 has to be 40 to add up to 90, right? So let's just go ahead and type that in here. Remember, it's going to make you put in each piece as you go to make sure it's right, right? So it doesn't want us to like build on it wrong, which is nice in the program. So if this is 40, right, 40 and 50 adds to 90. And again, these are alternate interior angles. So if angle 1 is 40, then angle 3 also has to be 40 because this has to add up to be a total of 90 because that's what right angles do. And we're in a rectangle, so therefore we know that. Okay, then if we look at this, it wants to know the measure of angle 2. Well, again, we know that this is a rectangle, which means that these are 90-degree angles. So let's type in 90 here. There we go. And then angle 3, I already identified because they're alternate interior angles. So that was 40. And then angle 4, again, we had already identified initially that those are alternate interior angles as well. So angle 4 is also 50 degrees. And then angle 5. So again, it's a 90-degree angle because it's a rectangle. And that's what we know about rectangles is there's 4 90-degree angles. So hopefully you see that this brings way back when we were talking about alternate interior, alternate exterior, all those things, and then just knowing what you need to know about rectangles. Let's see what else it gives us here. Oh, dang, I didn't see it change. Let me go back to something like that. There we go. Let's see what's going on here. So it says find the measure of the following angles in the rectangle. So again, if we know that these are rectangles, we know that these angles are going to add up to be 90 degrees. And we also know that if we think about this as parallel lines, which they are because it's a rectangle, this is a transversal, which means we have alternate interior angles. So 2 and 5 are going to be the same, and 4 in this blank area are going to be the same. Okay. Then we also should know vertical angles, right? Pulling this way back from like the beginning of the school year. If this is 76 degrees, then this is also 76 degrees. And then also we need to know that this is a straight line. Straight lines equal 180. So if this part is 76 degrees, we would take 180 minus 76 and get angle 1. So that's where we're going to start. So we know that this is 180 degrees because it's a straight line. This part is 76. We need to solve for angle 1. So we're going to do 180 minus 76, and that will get us our missing angle there. And that's going to get me 104 degrees. So let's double check that. There we go. And then measure of angle 2. Okay. So let's see if there's any information that we're given here. So I'm going to come in here and erase this up a little bit. And we know that this is 104. We know this is 76. We know this is 104. It wants us to know the measure of angle 2. Well, I don't have any other information given to me. I could assume that it is a bisector, that it's giving me 45, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So let's keep thinking. without any other information, I'm going to go ahead and give that a shot. 45 and 45, right? If this is an angle bisector, it's cutting it in half, gets me 90. Okay, that's wrong. So rationalizing it that way, not going to work out. Okay. So let's see what other information it wants. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So this is the only information it gives us. Let's see what we can see here. We know that these are parallel lines. These are alternate interior angles, but we have no measurements. Okay. So let's do it this way. It's saying it's 38 and 52. So let's see, work backwards, right? If it's 38 and 52, 38 and 52. Here's why. These are isosceles triangles. Okay, there we go. That's where we got to look. So we know that this is going to be an isosceles triangle here coming into my triangle or into my rectangle. And if we know isosceles triangles are 180 degrees, right? All triangles inside are 180 degrees minus the 76 is how we got the 104. But then we have two congruent angles that we need to divide that into. So we're going to divide by 2. And that's going to get us 52. So right in here is 52. So that tells us that angle 3 is 52. And now we can use that information to be able to find angle 2, right? Because 90 degrees minus 52 is how they got the 38. Okay. So don't rely on just like guessing that it is a bisector, right? We said angle 3 was 52. And then angle 4, let's see. Angle 4 is over here. And again, that is alternate interior of this one over here. So that would also be 52. And then angle 5 would be alternate interior of 2. So since 2 is 38, 5 is 38. And there we go. Okay. So we'll do another one of those, but just, showing you the thought process going through there. All right. So keep an eye out for interior triangles. So we'll look at that one more time. Ooh, so this one gives us 36 and 36, right? So angle 3 is the same as this one. So that's going to be 36. And then we need to be able to figure out these other pieces. Okay. So it doesn't give us the center like the other one did. We do know it's 180 degrees and it is being cut sort of in half, right? So that's one way to look at it. But we have alternate interior angles here. So we know that angle 3, let me see if it'll let me just type that in there. No. Oh, yep, it will. So we know that this is 36 degrees. So we know that's right. And then we know that angle 4 is going to add up to the 90 degrees, right? So we're going to do 90 minus 36 is going to get us angle 4. So that's 54. So come on down here, and angle 4 is 54 degrees. And then it wants angle 5. Okay, 5 is here in the middle, 1 is over here in the middle, and 2 is over here. So what we now know, though, is if this is 54, then this is also 54, right? And now we can use this to find this triangle. We said just a minute ago in that other problem, this is an isosceles triangle, right? So that means I have 180. If this is 54, this is also 54. So we're going to take away 54 twice. And that should get us 180 minus 54 is 72. So that tells us right here, this is 54, this is 72. Let's double check that. So we're saying this is 72 and angle 2 is 54. So just being able to kind of move your brain around the puzzle pieces basically is what we're doing. Knowing that these are isosceles triangles, which means these two angles must be congruent to each other. Okay. So each one's going to be a little bit different as you're going through. Let me clear up my work here. Okay. And again, this one brings us right back to the corners. So if this is 23, then this is 23. And then to find angle 1, we're going to do 90 degrees minus the 23. Gets us 67. And if 1 is 67, then 4 is 67. And then these are right angles. Okay. So those come up a little bit easier once we now understand how to do that. It's the ones where it crosses in the middle where you're going to have to kind of play a little bit with the puzzle pieces. Angle 4 was 67 due to alternate interior angles. And angle 5 was 90 degrees. Okay. Let's do one more where it crosses in the middle and gives us those triangles. Here we go. So again, the only thing it really gives me here is this 57 degrees. So I'm just going to take that information and use it. 57, that means this is 57. Okay, right? Alternate interior angles. And then I also know that this is a rectangle, which means these add up to 90 degrees. So we're going to do 90 minus 57 is 33. So that means 4 is 33 degrees. And then that is an alternate interior angle here. So that's also 33 degrees. Okay. Then the next thing I can see is, okay, I know that this is an isosceles triangle, which means angle 3 is the same as this 57. And then I'm going to take the triangle and subtract those two congruent angles and get my missing angle, which is 66. So that means angle 2 is 66. And then one more that I have to find here, this one's got a lot of pieces, is angle 5. So again, straight line is 180 minus the 66 that we just found for angle 2 is 114. So angle 5 is 114. Okay. So again, each one of these is going to be a little bit different. You just got to be able to move your brain around the puzzle pieces. So let's double check. Angle 1, we came up with 33 because 90 minus 57 got us 33, and these are alternate interior angles. Correct. Angle 2 is here in the middle. So if this was 57, angle 3 had to be 57. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Oops. I think I hit 4. There we go. And then 2 is 66 because 180 minus the 257s leaves us 66. And then angle 4, we had already decided that was 33. Oh, look at me typing in the wrong stuff. And then angle 5 is that straight angle. So 180 minus 66 gives us 114. So there we go. So it pulls all things kind of together. If you need any help, let me know. Other than that, 10 points, get more math.